Hello, children. It's Mr. Bruce here. Today is the 1-year anniversary since I started reading these books to you. That's 1 year, 52 weeks, 365 days. That's a lot of time. Thanks for watching. Today's book is Norman Fools the Tooth Fairy. We had a book last week with Peppa Pig where she had an opportunity to meet the Tooth Fairy, and here's another one. But before we start, eyes watching, ears listening, voice is quiet, body calm, glasses on. Hello. Okay, Norman Fools the Tooth Fairy. Norman was the only kid in class who had not yet lost a baby tooth. One was sort of loose now. Instead of finishing his worksheet, Norman wiggled his tooth back and forth with his finger. While his teacher, Miss Harp, read them a story, Norman waggled the tooth with his tongue. How else was he going to get a tooth to put under the pillow for his tooth fairy? His friends all gave him lots of advice. I tied a stringer on my loose tooth, said Toby, and I tied the other end to the doorknob, and my sister slammed the door. Ooh, that sounds painful. Dad pulled mine out with pliers, said Matt. No, Norman didn't like that either. But he admired the empty space between their teeth when they smiled. It showed that the tooth fairy had already paid them a visit. Try biting into an apple, said Sarah, or eat lots of caramels. Norman didn't have any caramels, but he did have a piece of licorice in his lunch bag. Caramels and licorice are real sticky candies. Maybe it'll pull his tooth out when he chews it. Well, Norman tried chewing on the licorice for a while, but nothing happened. Then he stuck it over his tooth. Look at me now, he said. Hey, said Toby, Norman lost his front tooth. When Norman ate the licorice off, everyone laughed. Because licorice is black, it makes it look like there was a space there. That night, Norman snuck some licorice on his tooth again and smiled at himself in the mirror. He really looked wonderful, he thought. He gave me an idea. He fooled his friends. Why not fool the tooth fairy? Maybe she would think that his tooth really fell out. But the tooth fairy would want to see it. Norman searched the bathroom for something that looked like a tooth. At last, he broke off a piece of white soap, just the size of a tooth. Perfect, he said. He wrapped it in toilet paper, and when Norman went to bed, he stuck it under his pillow and turned out the light. Norman tossed and turned, waiting for the tooth fairy to come. What would she be like? Maybe she'd be a pretty lady in a sparkling gown. Hey, tooth fairy, he would call to her. Here's a tooth under here. Norman felt for the soap chip under his pillow. It was very small and hard to find. The tooth fairy might not see it. He wrapped lots of toilet paper around the fake tooth and marked it Norman's tooth and made a big lump under his pillow with it. Now she couldn't miss it. Well, Norman lay in bed waiting. Soon the tooth fairy would float into his room with a bag of money. After a while, he began to worry. How does she know when someone's tooth fall out? Does she go to house every night and check? Norman got out of bed and made a sign that said, Tooth under here. And he had arrows pointing down to his pillow, just so in case she came in, she'd see it. It must be very, very late, Norman thought. Maybe she wasn't going to come. Once he even dozed off, but he woke up quickly. He checked for the tooth under his pillow, and it was still there. What did the tooth fairy do with all those teeth, he wondered. She must want them for something special. Maybe she made them into keychains or necklaces. And Norman saw a light coming through his window. It was growing larger and larger. He peeked out his closed eyelids, looking for a glimpse of a lady, and what he looked like was not a lady to Norman. It looked like a ghost coming in. It was a tooth monster coming towards his bed. It scared him. Wait, Norman said. Norman was so excited. He swallowed the licorice. There aren't any teeth here, honest, he said. Look, what he really saw was just the window curtain blowing in. Look, Norman turned the light on in a hurry. He reached under his pillow, but the monster had vanished. Even so, he got the fake tooth out and threw it out the window. Just to feel safe, he slept the rest of the night with the light on. The next morning, Norman was tired when he went to school. For the first time in weeks, he didn't bother checking his tooth. At lunch, he was eating his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He bit down on something hard. It was his tooth. It had fallen out just by itself, like they said. That way it happened was the way he always dreamed it would happen. Now will the tooth fairy hear my tooth come out? Oh, don't worry about it. The tooth fairy knows all about it. Norman looked surprised. Suppose she isn't nice. I'm sure it'd be nice to someone nice like you. Good night. Even so, Norman slept that night with the light on. He squeezed his eyes shut and never opened them till morning. When Norman felt under his pillow, sure enough, the tooth was gone and there was a shiny, bright quarter. The end. Well, do you think what Norman saw was really a ghost or a monster? Or was it just the curtains from the window and they were blowing in? And he felt guilty because he had tried to fool him, and he felt guilty, and he thought it maybe was somebody punishing him, but it wasn't. It was just the curtains. There are no monsters that fly in your room. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow with another book. Until then, it was a good year. We'll start a new one. Be sure to be good to your folks and wash your hands. Bye-bye.